Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm awesome. It's Friday.
This week has gone so dang fast. I can't believe. I think part of it has to do with it being, like springtime and starting to get
I love it.
a little brighter out.
This is my favorite season.
I think it is mine as well.
Everything's so happy and everything's coming
fall.
back to life. And I just love it.
I don't mind fall because I like the changing the colors and that kind of stuff.
I don't like fall because I know winter is right after
Yeah, that's true. So, the cool thing is we've got a great guest coming up later in the program. He's got a program called Real Food, Real Kitchens. Craig Chapman coming up in just a bit. We'll be chatting with him on the program. Also, we have a quote for today, which is over here. See, I wasn't ready, Heidi. You asked me if I was ready, and I said yes. I meant maybe. Vidal Sassoon says, the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. So there you go. Vidal Sassoon. I didn't know that was a person's name. But it is.
No, it was
I thought
his
that was
name
just
either.
a product, but Vidal Sassoon. Now we know.
Alrighty.
A couple of cool things to share in the program today. Stick around. It's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
There are monthly subscriptions for razors and coffee and many other things, but this is the best monthly subscription ever. Ladies, listen up. Odiva has a monthly subscription for your monthly visitor. You know it's going to happen every month, and how many times have you been caught off guard? Odiva will send you a box discreetly each month with the products you want, with plans starting at less than $4 a month. Get a special offer right now at radiosavings.com, helping women prepare for their monthly visitor for less. Try it now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Friday. It is March the 23rd, and that means today is National Chia Day. It is also National Chip...
Like Chia Pets?
Yeah. Remember those? Do they still sell those? I haven't seen those in years.
Yeah, they do.
Chia. National Chips and Dip Day today as well. National Near Miss Day today. National Melba Toast Day. Have you ever had Melba Toast?
I think so.
It's just like tiny little toast,
Yeah.
isn't it? What do you do with it? Make a tiny little sandwich?
You make like appetizers.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that. I'll have to try a tiny little sandwich today on some Melba Toast. National Puppy Day today as well. And it says it's typically celebrated on the 23rd. However, it is observed on a Friday or a Monday when it falls on the weekend. So since the 23rd, I guess that's today. So it's Friday. That's the day. So if it would have fallen on the weekend, then it would have been today or Monday. So there we go. I'm just reading the details, thinking it meant something, but apparently it doesn't apply this year. That's what's happening on this Friday, the 23rd day of March.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. Right now, we're going to try something called fake news or Florida. Heidi, you tell me if you think this is fake news or if it's something that really happened in the state of Florida. An opossum broke into a liquor store and got drunk on a bottle of cognac. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Correct. It is Florida. A lawyer's pants caught on fire while defending a client accused of arson. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It is true, Florida. A sheriff was arrested for getting a DUI in a police cruiser. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
Fake news it is. 3 for 3. A man was arrested for having relations with his dog in his front yard. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
It was Florida. And our final fake news or Florida? A man kidnapped an Uber driver, robbed a bank, and gave out money on the street. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, that was Florida. That really did happen. So there we
Almost had them all.
go. Fake news or Florida on this Friday, and Heidi did so darn good. You get a gold star and a hug and a kiss. Since
Nice.
She's my wife, so I give her those a lot. But you get one here. Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police say an impaired bride crashed on her way to her own wedding. This is such a sad story.
That is very
Police say a
sad.
bride in southern Arizona, this was like a week ago, was arrested on suspicion of impaired driving when she was involved in a car crash on her way to her own wedding. Amber Young was wearing an open-back dress when she was handcuffed and put into a police cruiser 30 miles north of Tucson. A spokesperson says that one person suffered minor injuries in the crash. It is not known whether or not Young has an attorney or if she would comment on behalf of herself. Scott tweeted, "Don't drive impaired till death do we part, doesn't need any help," end quote. Young was taken to a police substation to have her blood drawn and released without going to jail. It's not known whether she made it to the wedding on time or not. So how sad is that?
Never,
on your way to your own wedding. Never,
ever
don't.
drive impaired.
No. And where was her maid of honor? Where was her family? Where was other people?
Well, if another person was injured in the crash, she was probably in the car with her.
Oh, I don't know. There was another car involved too. She crashed into a car. So I just think that's a bad idea. And I've been to so many weddings. You got to understand, I was a wedding DJ for years, and I would see many times grooms and brides so drunk on their wedding day that I'm like, you're not even going to remember this day. It's so sad to me. So I don't understand why you want to do that.
I can understand drinking at the reception, but to get drunk even
Before the wedding?
Yeah. If you need to drink before the
that's-
wedding, you may be making a mistake.
Could be. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. NBC has renewed Will and Grace for a full second and third season. So they did one new season, which was like, was that the 11th season and 12th?
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I don't know what the numbers are. But anyway, a full second and third additional season for Will and Grace. I've not seen any of the second and third. I haven't seen the reboot at all. We haven't been watching TV lately. Jim Carrey is facing a backlash on Twitter this week.
I saw this.
For this painting that he did.
Horrible.
And I guess it was a very unflattering painting.
It was horrible.
I've not even seen it, so I'll have to go on. And I didn't even know he was a painter. So according to the story, maybe
He's really not.
He's not much of a painter. I don't know. Ben Affleck. Have you seen this story about Ben Affleck's tattoo?
No.
Ben Affleck has a massive back tattoo of a phoenix rising from ashes, and it is real. Originally, Affleck denied the tattoo was permanent. He was said, no, it's just a thing I did for a movie or whatever. And then it was still there a long time later. He's like, okay, that is real. He has other tattoos that he, quote, tries to have them in places where you don't have to do a lot of cover-up, end quote. So I got no problem with him having a tattoo.
No.
I wonder why he was trying to deny that it was real. I mean, it's not like nobody's going to find that out.
I wonder if he was like a huge Days of Our Lives fan and was embarrassed to say so because that was like a whole plot line of Days of Our Lives forever.
Anyway, this is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstein, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to learnwithoutloans.com.
Now your scoop of the day, courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com. Facebook is in the news. A couple weeks ago, we talked about Mark Zuckerberg selling off a bunch of stock. Remember that? I wonder if he knew a little something here.
Probably.
Because Monday of this week, it says here, Facebook stock lost $21 billion in early trading on Monday.
Yikes.
And here's why. It was over a report that a consultant gained inappropriate access to the data of 50 million Facebook users. So I didn't realize all of that was going on. But guess who did? Mark Zuckerberg. So I wonder if something's going to happen there. That just seems kind of weird. Hey, look at that. None of our Facebook accounts work right now. What
little
happened?
fishy.
We got to be careful what we say because we've got a page on that website that we were just talking about. We're going to move on. A new poll found that 74% of Americans believe they are being spied on by the deep state. Heidi, do you think you're being spied on?
No. I know that they have the ability to. I don't think they're necessarily watching anything I'm doing, but...
Okay, if you really think that you are, blink twice. Okay. That's not going to work really well on the radio. I don't think here's the thing. I know it sounds really naive to say I got nothing going on that they would care about because doesn't matter what you're doing. You have the right to have, privacy
exactly.
no matter what. But again, in all honesty, I am not that exciting. If anybody were, there was a time, remember they talked about doing a reality show about us? I still think it's funny. And anybody that knows us has to think, why would anybody watch a show? Well, they didn't do it, so that's probably why they didn't do it. But they reached out to us about doing a reality show about, the two of us doing this radio program and all that. And I was like, yeah, I suppose we could do that. And then they had us do a little video about what we do every day. And they're like, yeah, we'll call you. Don't call us. So we're not that interesting. There's just, there's not a lot going on. So I don't think, according to this, 74% of Americans think that the deep state is spying on them. Maybe they are, but if they're spying on me, they're going to be really bored. A female high school student from Long Island, New York, has been accepted to Harvard, but she put off her admission at Harvard so she can concentrate on being a race car driver. Oh. That is not typically two things I would put together.
That's interesting.
I'm a race car driver and a Harvard law student. Does it say law? It doesn't say law. It just says Harvard. So is there other stuff you can go to Harvard for besides law? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Harvard, what else? Harvard stock car racing? Is that thing? I don't know. But I would never typically put those two together. I wonder how many race car drivers came out of Harvard.
Probably not a high number.
I just don't know. And again, I've got dear friends that are race car drivers, so I'm not trying to bash race car drivers.
I know she didn't say I have dear friends that went to Harvard.
Why, is that the wrong way to say it? I ain't speaking correctly again. I think that's an interesting thing. Los Angeles man won $19 million in a lottery back in 1998, and apparently his lottery money is gone. He just had to plead guilty to 4 federal counts of armed bank robbery.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's not good. So $19 million and it's all gone.
How do you not have anything?
I don't know. I just don't get it. I have an idea for a reality show that I really think it should be Mark Burnett. If you've got his number, have him get a hold of me. When we were kids, we watched this show back in the 80s. It was a movie called Brewster's Millions, which I found out later was a remake. I didn't even know that. They should do Burnett's Millions. And the whole concept should be you're a lottery winner, wink, wink, but you win $100,000 and you got to spend it all in like a week. And then if you actually can do it without having any assets, like Brewster's Millions,
$100,000, that's nothing.
I'm just saying, but your friends and family would be telling you not to spend it. I think it would be a brilliant idea for a reality show, and have your people call my people, and we'll make this happen. I got no money to put into it. I already gave the idea out, so you really don't need me anymore. I just think that'd be fascinating for a TV program. I think that's going to pretty much do it for all the time we have for the Scoop of the Day. We got a lot of other stories we didn't get to, so we'll get to those later. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio really works. That's a pretty bold statement, but it's true. If you advertise on the radio the right way, you'll see results. I've said for years, advertising costs money, but effective advertising makes money. The only difference between spending money and making money is that one word, effective. Let us help you make your advertising more effective. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. We do radio jingles and creative ads to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. Hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now. We have Craig Chapman. He is with Real Food, Real Kitchens, and I'm learning about this. This is a pretty cool thing that you're doing, Craig. You guys have a program where you get to go into real kitchens and talk to real people about food they make. That's a cool idea. How long have you been doing this?
I first came up with the idea probably back in 2010, and we produced our first season in 2012. And right now we're on our third season, which we just released recently. We shot that entire season in New York City, the 5 boroughs of New York City. So.
That's really cool. And this is something that you started just as a passion. What is your background before doing this?
I went to school for journalism, so through that I was an intern at Nickelodeon and got into television production that way. Ended up moving to New York City and freelanced for about 20 years, mostly MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon, feature films, all kinds of production work. I was a production manager. So I started Real Food, Real Kitchen sort of as my way to finally start my own production company and producing my own shows.
And the neat thing is, I'm on your website right now. We'll throw a link to this on our social media to make it easy, but it's Real Food, Real Kitchens with an S at the end there, realfoodrealkitchens.com. And there are recipes on here. So if I happen to be watching one of these shows and I say, wow, that looks really good, I don't have to take a bunch of notes while you're talking. I can actually find those right on your website.
Yeah, that's kind of the flow of the show is we want our guests, because these are everyday sort of people that have a traditional family recipe that they're sharing. They're giving us the culture behind it, the history behind it, while they're making the recipe in their kitchen, in their real home. So we sort of have them cook in a way that they normally would at home, like a handful of this, a pinch of that, watch it until it kind of looks like it's done. And then we give the full recipe on the website for people that sort of need that recipe to follow.
I think that's a really neat idea. And one of the things that I love about this is I like the fact that it's real food and real kitchens. A lot of the time you'll watch these programs on the TV shows that have all these amazing chefs, and they have cool things in their kitchen that I'm never going to find in mine. I've looked in every cupboard. I've never seen that. So the thing that's neat about this is something that the average Joe, anybody that's watching, you're going to probably have the kind of things that they're using in these real kitchens, won't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's, your basics, knives, cutting board, frying pan, simple stuff.
So over the time that you've been doing this, is there something that stands out in your mind as like one of your favorite episodes, like it was just so awesome because of the food or maybe because of the people? Is there, and I'm sure that there's a lot of them, but is there one that's kind of like, this was just my favorite?
I mean, I have favorite episodes from each season. There's an array of food. We have food from all over the world, especially when we were in New York City. I think what often stands out to me most is the very first day on the first episode was sort of when I really got how great the show could possibly be. We were interviewing our guest, and she was telling a story of the dish she was making. It's one her mom made for her as a young girl. And in turn, when she got older, her mother was in the hospital, passing away from cancer, and she was able to make that dish for her mom and take it to her in the hospital. So she was sort of crying and sobbing, and it was then that I sort of realized like how emotional food is and how emotional and how meaningful these traditional family recipes really are to people.
And that's really cool. And that is one of the things that I can tell you when we have people over at our house, it doesn't matter what we're doing. Even if there's an event that's going on, in a different room, people still tend to kind of congregate in the kitchen. And it's the center of almost every home. That's where, that's where people want to hang out. And I think it's really a neat idea to take this program that you have into that home, into that kitchen, and get to almost kind of vicariously become a part of that family, because you're getting, kind of getting a sneak peek at what they do in their kitchen and the foods that they prepare. So it's a great idea.
Thanks. Yeah. You really can get to know somebody fully all the way through by the type of food they prepare and the kind of stories that go along with that food.
So a lot of these, when you're putting an episode together, do they typically pull out like a big note and here's all of my recipe and all of this, or do they just know it? It's like in their head. They don't even have to look anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, some people do have notes written, or, better yet for the show, when they pull out that note card that, grandma or grandpa had written on and gotten grease on and everything else, and they sort of follow that recipe. Because then we actually have something visual that's been passed down through the family as well.
Well, that's really cool. Thank you so much for chatting with us about this. If people would like to find Real Food, Real Kitchens, where can they find this?
So the series is now on Amazon Prime, so they can find all 3 seasons. It's 40 episodes. We also have a cookbook based after the New York season that just came out, and that's available on Amazon as well, or Barnes & Noble, or anywhere you can purchase a book.
Well, I'm going to make sure we throw some links on our social media to make it really easy to find you. Craig, thank you for taking time to chat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, John.
Again, Craig Chapman. He's with Real Food, Real Kitchens, and I think it's real cool. I've got a link to it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli.
What?
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, the attempt to get kids to eat healthier did not go well with the child testers who were, quote, confused by the taste, end quote. And I guess their concept didn't go well.
No, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Some fungi create zombies, then control their minds.
Really?
Yeah. So it says here, tropical fungus, Octhriodysa I probably got that wrong. Anyway, insect ants, central nervous systems, it says by the time the fungi have been in the insect's body for 9 days, they have complete control over the host's movements. They force the ants to climb trees and then convulse and fall onto the cool, moist soil below, where the fungi then thrive. Once there, the fungi waits until exactly solar noon to force the ant to bite a leaf and kill it. So there you go. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Alrighty.
So that's a fun fact. Some fungi, so little mushrooms create zombies out of ants. A couple of fun facts right there. Courtesy
interesting.
of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
It's time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and the word today is aspectrabund. A spectrabund. What do you think a spectrabund means?
I have no clue.
I kind of like this one. I don't know that I'll use it because I'll probably forget how to say it. A spectrabund. Aspectabund. A spectrabund. I think I put an R in there before when I was
I
pronouncing
think you
it.
did, yeah.
If I said a spectrabund, would that have helped?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. It's an adjective having a very expressive face.
Oh.
It says from aspect, a way of viewing things, from Latin aspectus, from past participle of aspirus, to look at, and ad to spherus, to look on, meaning look one wears the appearance of things. Plus the Latin adjective form.
I think you should stop
I'm
now.
going to just pause right there. Aspectabund.
It means an expressive face.
Yeah, so like from aspect and abundance? I have no idea. You have abundance of aspects for your face.
Man.
So if you're very expressive in the facial places, you are very aspectabund. This is your grandiloquent word. I'm moving on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstone, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to LearnWithoutLoans.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by FirstCupIsFree.com. How could you possibly go wrong? You have a couple of drinks, you hop on the internet. Next thing you know, you own all kinds of stuff you don't need. According to Nick Stuckey, who shopped online while drinking, he admits he was once tipsy when he bought some googly eyes for his car. He posted on Reddit, the best drunk online purchase I've made yet. It's one of those things that comes in the mail and you're like, I'm not sure why I ordered this. And it's not just one person. A study from Finder.com says 68 million people admit to drunk shopping, racking up $447 per person in what they refer to as drunk items, like drunk spending. They say we spend a lot of money while we're drunk. The problem is actually totaling over $30 billion, according to Jennifer McDermott. She's with Finder.com, says food is the top purchase, followed by shoes and then clothing. Social media is filled with questionable drinking decisions. People who accidentally bought 100 top hats for her pet. For her pet toad. Her pet toad. Ian Stratford admits being under the influence when he bought a T-shirt of a military sloth. I didn't know that was a thing. Another man proudly posted a hot pink outfit that he ordered after a few rounds. So there's all kinds of people who do all kinds of dumb things. Have you really?
I have.
I've never done it. I've got a link to the story if you want to chime in and tell me what you bought. That'd be awesome. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. 31-year-old Thomas Phillips of Gainesville, Florida, is facing a felony battery charge after he clobbered a man in the face with a tennis ball launcher dog toy. Here's what happened. Yeah, this is a bizarre story. They were outside a Gainesville apartment complex Monday evening of, I believe, last week. Maybe it was this week. And his dog was not on a leash, and he attacked a canine owned by Matthew Hester. Mr. Hester was attempting to separate the fighting dogs when the owner of the dog that was not on a leash came running over. Instead of getting his own dog, he used the toy that he was holding to smack the owner of the other dog. Right in the face. A large green tennis ball launcher dog toy. When police arrived, Hester had a swelling and redness on the face, and it says, consistent with being struck in the face with a tennis ball launcher. Phillips was arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Wow. Just get your dog and let him get his dog and go your separate ways. I don't understand at all, but that's what happened. It's weird news. No, this is your moment of duh. That's what it was. Courtesy. Yeah, that's both, really. Weird news and your moment of duh. Courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Good news coming up. More weird news right now. Courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com. Stephen Jolly of Washington State is facing assault charges and malicious mischief after he became infuriated over losing a gym while he was playing Pokemon Go. Probably the first time Pokemon Go and the word gym have been in the same sentence, because that's not necessarily known as people who go to the gym. Probably not the ones playing Pokemon Go. But he was trying to catch a Pokemon that was at a gym, and another player had already caught that Pokemon, so he threatened him with a tire iron.
Oh, my God.
And eventually punched him several times. His friend, Grayson Hagstrom, reportedly jumped in and put Jolly in a chokehold. Hagstrom said after posting about the incident on Facebook with the license plate of the car Jolly was driving, they were told this is not the first time Pokemon Go players have been accosted in this area. What?
This is ridiculous.
Jolly
is
says,
this an old one?
No, this is current.
Because I didn't even know this was still a thing.
Jolly says to authorities he disputed striking anyone, but said, I did hit the table with my tire iron. So,
good Lord.
You guys need to calm down.
Calm down.
There's enough Pokies for everybody, or whatever that is. I don't get it. So play nicely or don't play at all. But that's probably the most physical activity any of those people have had. Got them off the sofa anyway.
I didn't know that was even still a thing. I
It's
honestly
probably not
didn't.
for a lot of people, but these guys they're out there having fun. Just be nice.
Yeah, they're having all kinds of fun.
Play well with each other. Good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Now some good news courtesy of Odiva, the monthly subscription for ladies, monthly visitor. And if you don't like going to the store, this place is good news for you. They deliver it right to you. All of the stuff you need each month. All of the details at radiosavings.com. And my beautiful bride sent me this story. I think this is really a neat story, but I also want to make sure that you understand that not all stories like this are going to end this way. I just want to make sure you know that, because this could have been really bad too. It says, Mom takes in son's homeless friend because of freezing conditions. A mother of 3 refused to let her son's homeless friend remain on the streets when she discovered that he was sleeping in freezing conditions in an abandoned train carriage. During the recent snowy conditions, Natalie Hawkins, a communities and regeneration coordinator in Cardiff, this is in England, was looking out her window wondering why or how awful it would be to sleep out in the cold. Speaking to the Wales Online, I believe it's a website where this story was, she said, my son Jack was in the house and it was snowing outside and I was in the kitchen with my sister and just said, imagine sleeping outside in this. And that's when her son said, my friend, he says, my mate is homeless and he's living in a train car. And she said, give him a ring and he can come here. So the boy, look at that, where he was staying. Can you see the images there?
Yep, I know. I saw
It's like an abandoned train car. It's where he was staying. So the mother said, no, he can come stay with us. So now this young man is staying with them. I think it's really cool that she let this young man come and stay with them. He's a homeless young man that was a friend of her son.
Right. And her son knew him. So, I mean, be very, very careful if you're going to let somebody come into your home. But in this situation, the kid knew this young man. And it's really nice because it ended well. He's been staying with them for a while now, and it turned into a pretty good situation for everybody, really. I've got a link to the whole story if you want to read the whole darn thing. I just want to make sure that we understand that I'm not saying don't help people. I want you to help people, but beware, be careful, make sure you know who this is, because you don't want to just invite a stranger. Yeah, you don't want to invite a stranger into your home if you've got other people there. He's not a stranger. They knew him ahead of time. It's a wonderful story. It's a touching story. It's a phenomenal story. And like I said, I've got a link to it on our Facebook page. Thank you for sending that, Heidi. You're welcome, John.
I get some nice stories sent from other folks, too. We'll have one of those maybe for the next go-around. If you find good news somewhere on the World Wide Web and you'd like to share that, you can do all of that at the same place, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Friday. Thanks for listening.